What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is a guy that I actually spoke about. I made a video about him back in 2020, and it was in regards to him breaking up with a quote-unquote longtime girlfriend. And he spoke about how he wanted more happiness in his life. He put up a post, and I guess he was just not in the best place. Now, you got to understand, this was during the time of COVID, the lockdowns, right? They were actually starting to ease things towards the end of the year, but still, that's when I had spoke about Tyler Perry and his situation. Now, if you fast forward, he's being sued. And I actually made a video about that lawsuit situation. If y'all want to see it, I'll link that in the description box. And I spoke about the guy who is suing him and how embarrassing it is, for the simple fact that this is the second time that Tyler Perry has been accused of being overtly sexual with men. An actor by the name of Christian Keys, who worked with Tyler Perry. Basically, he alluded to but didn't put Tyler Perry's name out there in regards to a certain billionaire who he had worked with, who had tried to put the moves on him. Now, Christian Keys sort of recanted that, deleted the video that he did, and must have took a payoff, which probably would happen. And now you have this new guy, I think his name is Derek Dixon, who's claiming that he was harassed and put in very compromising position by Tyler, who, behind, in front of the camera, so to speak, he likes to present himself as a man who is only interested in women, even though he dresses up as a woman in his plays, in his movies. But behind the scenes, he's aggressively trying to seduce men that work for him into having relations. And there is talk that, Tyler's been doing this for years. You got to understand, Tyler Perry's career took off in the early 2000s. So he has been a big deal for well over 25 years almost. He's been a big deal. I remember years ago, there was an opening scene to one of his plays that, how I used to have them on DVDs, right? And he's hopping into a limo. This was probably back in 2002. This is a guy who came from nothing, right? If you listen to his story, he came from nothing. This is a guy who's had money, he's had wealth and fame and success for a very long time. So when you look at the fact that Tyler Perry apparently, allegedly, is being very aggressive in trying to use his position of power to coerce men into gay relationships, it just reminds me that, Tyler Perry has his own casting couch, allegedly. Again, this is all alleged, people. Nobody has definitively put any information out there except for this particular guy, Derek Dixon. I do think I will say this, though, even though there hasn't been anybody before Derek Dixon to come out here and say that Tyler Perry did this or that. Again, Christian Keys never put a name to who he was talking about in regards to Tyler Perry's name, right? There are other men who have probably been through that, because again, Tyler Perry has been a big deal for a very long time. The guy has his own movie studio in Atlanta, and he has his own casting couch, what it looks like. You got to understand something about money and power. When you've had money and power for long enough, you will start to abuse it. Especially when you come from trauma and you've been traumatized like Tyler. Is a very traumatized man still in his 50s. He's never healed from that trauma and the things that happened to him. And what you notice with people who have trauma, they tend to project, and they tend to go after people due to their own trauma. You notice it. The people who y'all see who are always obsessed with other people, always attacking other people, it's because they're hurting. They have trauma. They don't know how to deal with that trauma. So they try to go after other people to make them feel the way that they feel. And that's what you have with Tyler Perry. This is a guy who feels untouchable. Christian Keys came very close to destroying Tyler Perry's career. Christian Keys, the actor, came very close to destroying Tyler Perry's career, all of his hard work, everything that he has built. But Christian Keys decided to take that payoff and move on. And the difference between him and Derek Dixon is that Derek tried to go through the proper channels in order to, solve this, to deal with the situation. And that didn't work. So he felt like he had no other choice but to file this lawsuit. Now, the $260 million is hella ridiculous, but you start high and settle low, which means that, if Tyler doesn't want to go through no court situation, he may end up settling for a lot of money, because those text messages, again, and I said it in my recently in my original video on this particular situation, I even read some of the text messages. Y'all can go and check that out in that video in the description box. I read those text messages. They weren't explicit, but Tyler, if this is him, was alluding to things, trying to groom Derek Dixon into wanting him, sending Derek Dixon a picture of himself near a jet ski, asking what did he think about the picture. And Derek Dixon was like, hey, the waters look nice. Then Tyler was like, you're not gonna mention the stud in the photo? Rude, right? Like, he's trying to flirt with this dude, a dude who has no interest in Tyler. No interest at all. That's why I say those text messages is probably what's going to cost some money. It is. And I think that Tyler and his legal team is trying to put out statements to make it seem like this is all false. We will see. But as of right now, it just doesn't look good for Tyler. This could really ruin his reputation and career. When I say career, because again, he has his own studios, but Tyler still wants to be an actor. He has acted in other films outside of the ones that he has done. So this could damage that. Tyler's all over the place. He's respected in Hollywood circles for good or bad, right? And when you have this type of scandal where you're being accused of trying to groom and trying to abuse your power, people are going to look at you like Harvey Weinstein, and he doesn't want that. Tyler Perry has built something great, but it's clear to me that his trauma is probably playing a big part into why he can't be himself. If he truly is gay and he's into men, then maybe the thing that he should do is just say it. But he's not going to say it because he's a guy who is about religion and is about being a Christian, and he just does not want that stigma of being a gay man. And the thing is this with Tyler. There are people who have issues. There are people who deal with certain things, but they don't go to the lengths that Tyler Perry does, as far as aggressively trying to flirt with men who are not interested in him, aggressively trying to have relations with men that have no interest in him behind the scenes. He has these two sides of himself. Some people like having two sides. There are people who like being able to live one way publicly and then one way privately. I think Tyler is one of those people that likes to be perceived as one thing, but behind the scenes, he's completely different. He is Medea. behind the scenes, just minus the wig and the dress. He is Medea. That's his other personality, you know? And he said, he said this years ago that, you know, he wears a dress and a wig to support himself, right? And to support others financially. That's why he does it. There have been other actors who have cross-dressed, but they're not being accused of groping and harassing men and trying to groom them into relationships. Those men wore dresses because it helped advance their careers. Unfortunately, it advanced their careers. Tyler does it. He doesn't even need to. He doesn't need to put that dress and wig on anymore. But he still does it because that's who he is. He's comfortable being Medea. Medea is a comfort zone to him. And that is why I think that Tyler has two sides of himself. The side that he shows and the side that he doesn't. And I think that because he wants to be a part of the church, he wants to, be a Christian. And the sad thing is that in the text messages, Derek Dixon is telling him, listen, my spiritual beliefs go against what you're trying to talk me into doing. And then Tyler is like, you can do these things and still have those beliefs, just trying to groom and trying to break down his barriers. We all need to have standards. And if you have no standards, you will have you have immorality. Tyler's propensity to try to be two different people is what could be his ultimate undoing, because all it takes is for more men to come out here and say, hey, these things happen when I worked with Tyler or worked for Tyler, right? That's all it takes. And then Tyler is done. He is done. Especially if they have evidence and proof and text messages like Derek. Tyler was so sloppy. Like, Tyler, you didn't think that this dude would save these text messages and use them against you, but he was so in heat and so thirsty that he just couldn't help himself. And again, that could be his undoing. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, and check out the other video in the description box and all my other videos on the channel as well. And I'll see y'all next one. Y'all take care and have a great rest of your day. All right.